Did you get my show notes? We had a few questions I'm really excited about.
No, I did not.
Oh my gosh, Edward.
I'm sorry, boss. I literally just ran into the house.
I know, I'm just kidding. I'm just messing with you.
Okay. Because I love you too much. Ooh, you was not playing with show notes. I'm like, okay.
Let's see. I just missed something.
You're good.
Good thing there's
Keep it rolling.
good thing there's editing. What's up, nerds? Welcome to Nintendo Pow Block, NGR Radio's Nintendo show. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Dirrig, and alongside me, as always, that retro code, Eddie V.
Hey, Pikmin and Power Blockers. What's up, everybody?
Oh, Ed, I'm so excited.
Yes!
Man, Ed, I'm like, so last night I went and saw my friend Brian, who, for those who've been following me for a while, the old Destiny show, Weekly Strike, he's my friend. He was my best man at my wedding. I went and saw him for the first time in like 6 weeks last night. And like we were hanging out and stuff, and I took my Switch, and this guy is like a noted Nintendo like hater. He hates Nintendo. The only thing he likes about Nintendo is the DS and the 3DS, and mostly the DS, right?
So he liked the handhelds, not the consoles.
Yeah. So like, but I go over there. What do I see sitting on his shelf?
A Nintendo Switch.
A Nintendo Switch, and about 3 games that I was like, this dude would never play these games if they were on a real quote real console, like Arms, Splatoon. He repurchased Mario Kart.
What?
And I'm like, oh man. And he's like, the only game he loves on Nintendo is Zelda. Like, that's the only series he'll really play. Like, he doesn't even play Mario games anymore. So, unless like his girlfriend plays with him, like they play New Super Mario Brothers and stuff together. But like, this dude bought a Switch. Which is just like, okay, this thing is hitting where, like, it's hitting the people who don't normally play Nintendo games. It's like it's starting to hit. Like he's into super competitive multiplayer games. He's, Destiny, Call of Duty, hardcore, those types of games, like the hardest of the hardcore for those games. So like to see him have Arms sitting on his shelf next to like 35 Call of Duty titles was just like hilarious. So, but like, yeah, I'm really excited that he got a Switch, and I've known this guy for like my whole literally my whole life. I've known this guy. I'm 30 years old, and we've known each other for 29 and a half years.
Wow.
Or probably, well, actually about 30 years now, because he just turned 30 last week. So
congratulations.
Happy birthday, Brian.
Woo. Happy birthday, Brian.
But yeah, man, Switch is reaching those heights, and I know we got a lot of questions about Switch, and we got news about sales and stuff. But yeah, yes,
yeah,
it's starting to hit, man. And I said, people are going to be using it as their handheld device to coincide with their quote main consoles like PS4, Xbox One, which is actually probably what Nintendo should be aiming for. Aiming to have Switch as the quote second console to get, which will actually probably put them in first place at some point overall.
Yes.
So
it's so weird for me. Nintendo consoles are the main consoles for me, and PlayStation and Xbox are second and third.
Yeah. You can't deny that we're in the minority of that.
Yes.
Of that discussion. But like to see that his Switch was sitting there charging on a shelf next to Arms and freaking Disgaea and Zelda and Mario Kart was just, it was pretty funny to see him have games like Arms and Splatoon sitting on his shelf because he's so hardcore into Overwatch and Destiny and Call of Duty. So,
and all those games could coexist. That's what I like. That's what I kind of like of modern gaming, when people don't feel fanboyish at sometimes and let games coexist with each other. Like you could just play anything and be comfortable enjoying the fun that everything offers.
Yeah. I was just excited. I didn't play much of my Switch last night. I'm trying my hardest to get through a bunch of games normally this sentence wouldn't be coming out of my mouth in July, but I'm trying to get through a bunch of games for the Game of the Year discussion at the end of the year for NGR. And I just purchased Persona 5. Nier is waiting. I have Neo somewhere sitting on a shelf.
I think I'm waiting for a sale for Neo. I don't know if I need to pick it up though.
Yeah, see, I don't think I needed to pick it up either, just because we've had this discussion before where I like Bloodborne, but the Dark Souls games in general just aren't for me. That's more Moose and Matt.
Right.
They have a Facebook group which we'll throw out there if you're into Dark Souls. It's called #Hammer Bros Inc. So if it's all one word. So if you're into Dark Souls and Bloodborne and Neo,
they need to change that name.
Why?
They need to change that name. They cannot be using a Nintendo name for their Souls adventures.
But they're the Hammer Bros. They run around with the hammers and Bloodborne.
Nope. They have got to remove Hammer Bros. That is Nintendo related. Y'all not playing a Nintendo game. Y'all what you guys need to do, you need to make them a new name.
Oh man.
Hammer Bros. Yes.
Oh jeez. All right, let's get into this show. New format. New format, sort of. We're trying something out here. So if you're just joining us, welcome to Nintendo Pow Block. This is NGR Radio's Nintendo show in our giant family of shows.
Yes.
Every Tuesday and Friday, we get together to talk about the week in Nintendo for Switch, 3DS, and everything else that we really kind of feel like talking about. If there's something we need to talk about on Wii U, we will talk about it. If you're watching the video, like, subscribe, and share to the NGR Radio YouTube page. If you want us on the go, you can find a Pow Block on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and Shout Engine. Remember to rate us, give us those 5 stars, and comment why we're so awesome. Remember to follow us on Twitter, like our Facebook page, and join Nintendo Pow Block Facebook group, facebook.com/group/Nintendo Pow Block, and the NGR Radio Facebook groups all over the internet. But Ed, with that said, what have you been playing?
So, of course, if everybody watched Arsenal X, we got done playing the Destiny 2 beta. And so you can watch that episode. But recently, I just finished all of the Wolf Among Us. I played it on PS4. I did every 5 episodes, so I beat the whole game all in one sitting. Really good. The writing is really good. It's a Telltale game based off a DC/Vertigo comic, and you play as Bipsy Wolf, who was a detective, actually a sheriff, in this place called Fabletown. I believe they live among humans and stuff. And you meet this character, they kind of teach you some button prompts that you have to learn, and then later on in the game, while in the first episode, you find out that one of the characters that you meet, her head is laying on the steps of where Bipsy lives at. And then the mystery goes off from there. So there's some twists and turns and stuff like that. But it's a choose your own adventure. I know Telltale announced season 2, but man, it really is good. And it's long. For some reason, this one felt longer than Batman Telltale Adventure.
Yeah.
So you guys, I'll be writing a little bit about that, so you'll be able to check it out. Dragon Quest 8, Zelda, Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider. I'm still getting some more collectibles. I'm at 93% of everything collected, but there's just some more stuff I have to do, and I still got to do the DLC that came along with it. I haven't started that yet.
Nice.
So,
Nice. Well, I mean, for me, and then on the Nintendo front, really enjoying Splatoon, but I'm really getting into Fire Emblem, man. The new one, like it's really good. Like and this is like I'm really really planning on getting that new 2DS. Like I really am. Oh, man,
which is actually out everybody now. So
oh
the
yeah, it
2D,
comes out. It's out. It's out.
yes, yes, with the amiibo and with Hey Pikmin. So
Oh
yes.
yeah, I'm really really digging Fire Emblem, and I'm waiting to trade in my 3DS XL. I don't need it. My wife doesn't want it. We've already discussed it. She's not going to play it, and I'm like, okay, well, if you're not going to play it, then I'll just get rid of it because I don't need to. And my nephews are too young to be using the 3D, so it's just like, I don't need it. I'm just gonna upgrade to the 2DS XL. But Fire Emblem's really good. I've been playing the third Box Boy game. So like those are the two games I've kind of been playing right now. I'm trying to hold myself over because like I like Splatoon multiplayer a lot. But sometimes I'm just too tired to play something competitive, so I usually play puzzle games when I'm tired. But I'm holding myself over for Mario Cross Rabbids Mario and Rabbids, which comes out in a month. Like I think it's literally 4 weeks from today it comes out. So
yeah, and then I think that following month in September, I think Rayman Legends come out.
Yeah, Rayman Legends comes out September 12th. Pokken Tournament on the 29th. And then for me, NBA 2K18 comes out on the 22nd. So I'm really
okay.
And then the Super Nintendo comes out on one of those days too. So Ed, we're gonna have a lot of Switch to play.
Tell me about it. We're gonna have a lot. Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna probably film our whole second season of Let's Pod and Play here too.
Probably so.
Oh man, I'm not kidding. It's gonna be so fun. But other than that, it's really just been Splatoon and Fire Emblem for me. Splatoon 2's real good. I keep forgetting to give people my friend codes for Splatoon. Like, my friend David asked me for my friend code like a week ago, and I'm like, I'll get it to you when I get home, and that was like a week ago, and I never got it out to him. So sorry, David. I'll get it to you eventually. But yeah, Splatoon. I wish there was an easier way to play with your friends. Like that's just like the one draw right now is like got to give your friends your friend code. Then you have to have your cell phone on you. Then you have to keep the app open. It's just like it's really I'm starting to feel it, man. I'm starting to feel the frustration of them offloading the idea of the app on your phone. Like it wouldn't be such a big deal if I could like close the app or make my phone go to sleep or check other things while I'm using the app. Yeah. But that until they fix that, like I'm really struggling with this app, man. It's just
hopefully people are sending Nintendo feedback if they're asking, doing surveys and stuff like that for Splatoon 2. Give them feedback. If you're doing My Nintendo Points and you let them know that you bought Splatoon 2, let them know how you feel about this online service and this app. Make it to them so they can make changes and that it could be better.
Yeah, I agree, and like I know that this isn't really an excuse in 2017, but Nintendo's still learning the ropes on stuff like this just because they've been so far behind for so long on stuff like this. So like
Nintendo of Japan is learning this.
Yeah.
Well, not America.
But yeah, I'm just trying to be general here. But like, Nintendo's been so far behind on this for so long that like it's not an excuse, but they're still learning, so it kind of is an excuse. I'm just trying to like rationalize it in my head and trying to stay positive about this thing, but Yeah, Splatoon's good, and I'm ready. I'm ready for this whole onslaught of Switch games. Like I'm really ready to go up to GameStop and be like, look, I want to cancel everything that's not for Switch or 3DS right now, and move it over to this new 2DS and buy that tomorrow. Like I really want to, except for the fact that I work 9 to 8 tomorrow, but that's okay. But anyways, why do you say we get into some news? There's a lot of
Yes.
good news for Nintendo this weekend.
Yes, it is.
You want to talk about the Nintendo Switch sales?
Yeah, so they just came out a report that Nintendo Switch sales has reached 4.7 million units sold as of June 30th. Nintendo reports at their financial meeting, surprise Nintendo, Switch is a hit. There's also some other impressive stats, and with the popularity of the Switches, now kind of coming in frequently in stores, that number is expected to grow some more.
Yeah, I think someone said that they've probably hit 5 million units by now. So like already over almost halfway to the Wii U's lifetime sales.
Yes. So, there's other impressive stats also to include. Zelda Breath of the Wild is at 3.8 million units on Switch.
Impressive.
Mar-
I want to that's an interesting stat about Zelda. On it says 3.8 million units on Switch. They
alone.
they didn't reveal the Wii U stats. So I want to know how well that game sold on Wii U,
Um,
because they
I
didn't say anything about sales on Wii U at the financial meeting.
uh I think it did 500,000 copies and a little bit more. Uh, because when they first reported about Zelda, it did a million,
Yeah.
like a million plus. Uh, but that was because of Switch and Wii U combined.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I actually last Sunday I sold two copies of Breath of the Wild. So it's pretty much was one of the games that's kind of a must have for anyone buying the Switch. So that attach rate is going up. So that's really good.
Yeah, I mean, I can't find anything specific, but at the end of April, uh, Nintendo is surprised by how well Zelda is selling on Wii U, selling 1.3 million units at the end of April on Wii U. So that number's probably closing in on 1.5 million units on Wii U. I'm
Yeah.
assuming. So still,
And that's good. That's
still,
really is good.
mhm.
Uh, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is at 3.5 million. Arms is at 1.18 million, and that's good.
Oh my gosh, dude!
Yay!
Oh my gosh, the
For a
arms
new IP.
new IP in the fighting genre for Nintendo only. 1.2 million units is freaking amazing. I
Right.
mean, people like colorful games with cool characters, I guess. I mean, no. A lot of people are comparing. I was reading this article on Arms the other day, and they are saying how Arms can be Nintendo's Overwatch, and like how they can. I don't know if Nintendo's going to go this far, but they're going into theoretically how they can give all these characters backstories, release like every 2 to 4 weeks, similar to what Blizzard does with Overwatch, like a little comic or a short story or something based on these characters' backstories, and give a little bit more depth to these characters as they're adding modes, as they're adding uh, unique abilities and stuff, as they're adding characters. So. But it was just a unique thing, and I think Nintendo does have something interesting with Arms, just because like each character is super unique, and each fighting style is pretty unique, and I think Nintendo could make Arms their Overwatch. Like
Hmm.
I'm not saying Arms is ever going to be as big as Overwatch, because it's never going to be as big as Overwatch. But like if Nintendo like even if just like the Treehouse writing team took over, like they could do something cool like this on like
Right.
on like their
Well,
Twitter or their Tumblr or something.
Well, as long as Nintendo keeps giving good updates, like really supporting it with free content, the sales of it can go up, and it could be Nintendo's Overwatch. And a lot of people have to remember that ARMS is a game that's going to be played at Evo in Japan next January. So that's going to guarantee more sales for people to practice on that game and get all that content. And it's going to be impressive to see how Japanese players play.
Mhm.
And if that impacts more good sales for ARMS, for America to be like, oh yeah, I need to get on that level, then it will probably be equal until Overwatch.
Mhm. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, but I'm really proud that this game is doing well. I like Arms a lot. I just got distracted by Splatoon, and some of the digital games I got, like Shantae and Mighty Gun Volt Burst, which Mighty Gun Volt Burst is really good, and it's only $10 if you own a Switch. You should get it.
Yes.
Anyway,
Yes.
but yeah, I mean, we didn't even really. We kind of glossed over Mario Kart just because Arms was so impressive, but a re-release of Mario Kart. I mean, Mario Kart's going to be one of those games that's in the top of the charts until Switch is dead, right? Like that
Yeah.
game is just 3.5 million units, almost passing Zelda already. Coming out, what, 6 weeks later is like, okay, Mario Kart's just a beast. Who cares if it's this quote same game that came out last gen? Like, it's just awesome. Mario Kart
And
8 is the best. Oh, it's so good.
I think because I don't you want to consider it as a remaster or a not so much as a remake, a remaster. This is probably the best remaster that's been out in a long time.
Yeah.
And I'm not just talking about for Nintendo. I'm pretty much talking about pretty much all three consoles. Like, what game came out that was a remaster on other consoles that has even got to 3.5 million or even 3 million?
Mhm. Yeah, it's yeah, Mario Kart's impressive, and like it being like the remastered version or whatever you want to call it is like it's just a testament to how well Nintendo kind of takes care of their stuff. And I was
Yes.
listening to a podcast on Lock today, and they were talking a lot about Nintendo and how their games are like their first party games are kind of the only ones left that aren't quote unfinished at launch. Like they don't need a big patch to fix their game when you get it, or like they come as is and they're almost perfect once they come out. And like that's a statement that's been going around for 15 years at this point, ever since 360 came out and they started doing patches for games. And like Nintendo's the only one that kind of still stands the test of time of putting out quote finished games for people, and this is just it. So
Right. And I know people are going to probably say Crash Bandicoot, the remaster one, but I like that's more overseas, you know. Uh, and even though that's kind of a PlayStation exclusive, and it's good that they're making the sales that they're making for Crash, but I'm like, I don't think Crash is going to reach 3.5 million and grow from there.
wow,
Like when
that's
people buy a Switch, Mario Kart is probably another game that's attached to the system that people are going to buy.
yeah. I'm looking up Crash sales real quick. Because the last time I heard, Crash Bandicoot outsold Horizon, which is really stupid. People, come on. Like, I get it. I get it. Crash is it's like an inside joke, but why are you participating in this inside joke? Uh,
Well, Crash is a big seller outside of America. I think Horizon
yeah,
sold a lot here in America.
yeah, I know. I was just being mean. But
Oh,
Crash Crash has sold 4.8 million units. It looks like as of uh, estimated 4.8 million units, surpassing Horizon, which has sold just under 4 million units. So that's I don't know. I really like Horizon. I was playing it last night,
mm,
trying to finish it, and that's for a different podcast. We can have that discussion later. But
Well,
I as much as I like that game, like that I have some issues with that game, but we can talk about it later. This is a Nintendo podcast. All I can say is Horizon doesn't control as well as Zelda, and it frustrates me. So moving along.
yes. So moving along with this, $30 million from Pokemon Go, 81 million from smartphone games, so that's Mario Run, Fire Emblem Heroes. They posted 145 million in profits for quarter two. 5 million 3DS titles sold, 1 million 3DS units.
I can't believe
And
they
then
still sold 1 million 3DSs.
it was it if they were able to supply this last holiday season, that number would have doubled. Literally 3DSs, if they were able to put 200 3DSs for maybe 2 weeks in a toy store all across America, all 200 per store would have been gone.
Yeah.
100 3DSs, 100 2DSs, all of them would have been gone because that was the system a lot of parents were coming in and asking for. So that number could have doubled if they were able to supply it.
Yeah,
But
I'm just
but
amazed that
1 million, I shoot.
like I'm still amazed that this thing is selling as well as it is. Like uh I man, for a system that's been out like 6 or 7 years, but then like you look at the Game Boy and that thing sold well for 15 years. So I mean like
Look at the DS. It did the same thing. And Game Boy Advance. Hey, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy SP, pretty much most of Nintendo handhelds, besides the Retro Boy, has consistently sell when they came out.
yeah. I still need to find my Virtual Boy. It's somewhere. Like I have one somewhere and it I only have 3 games for it. I have that weird Star Fox ripoff game. Uh, and Mario Tennis, and I think like Wario World VR or something. I don't know. Uh, but yeah, yeah. But okay. Back to the 3DS. Like Nintendo obviously still has faith in it, and like we have some questions. So remember, you can email us at nintendopowblock@gmail.com, and we can answer your questions, or look for the threads on either Twitter or our Facebook groups. So Megan Green asks why. She asks why. Bleh, wow, wow. Okay, with Nintendo seemingly still having faith in 3DS/2DS, how do you think Nintendo will balance their teams between it and Switch moving forward with all the success Switch has had? Um, I'm going to start off by saying I think Nintendo's major first party teams are focused on Switch. I really believe that, but I think like their secondary teams, the people that they're training to come up to be the next generation of developers at Nintendo. I don't want to say they're B teams because their B teams are better than most developers' A teams. I kind of really truly believe that.
Mm-hmm.
And outsourcing to third party developers to make first party games like Mercury Steam with Metroid Samus Returns for 3DS. I think those are the routes they're going to go. But I think, I really think that their A teams are really working on Switch games. And that's good because, 3DS is still going to get a lot of good games. They're going to be training the next generation of Nintendo developers to work on, whatever the future of Nintendo is. And maybe we'll get a couple gems in there, like Nintendo already said they're supporting 3DS through 2018. So that's kind of where my headspace is at. I think, training people to and experimenting with cool ideas on
Mm-hmm.
3DS as well. I think the 3DS, I've said this many times on this show alone, I think the 3DS is the platform where they experiment with stuff and then whatever works and what doesn't, they evolve that idea to put on their home consoles. So like Metroid Prime Federation Force is the perfect example, right?
Right.
That I feel like that is an experiment that they wanted to test out, and I feel like Triforce Heroes was the same way. These are multiplayer games that they have tested out, and they want to somehow implement that to the home console experience, which I still think we're getting Federation Force 2 or some type of multiplayer attachment to Metroid Prime 4. I still think that. But, 3DS doesn't require a giant budget. It doesn't require giant teams. And they can experiment and maybe put something else that'll make their money back on these little experiments. So that's kind of where my headspace is at. It's a good place to experiment. Plus, like, you get these smaller third-party teams that want to work on Nintendo games. There you go. So that's what I think.
Okay, so my answer, because Corey kind of took the words.
I'm sorry.
No. Actually, you made me actually think more about this in depth. If you look at Nintendo's strategy for how they're doing this holiday season, if they could keep it up, the teams that's going to be balancing between 3DS, 2DS, and even a Switch is going to show that content is going to have a continuous flow. So even if the games are average, like 5.0s to even 10s, as long as content is coming out and those systems are getting supported, the balance would be easy for Nintendo and their teams. Like, there's no pressure to be like, oh, we need to delay this or we need to rush to get this out to fit this. Nintendo, everybody knows that they'll deliver it when it's perfect, when they believe it's ready to go. And if they're going to continue to do that, which is, I think, a good business for them, the balance of them will come along. There's no Switch games coming out, but there's 7 new 3DS, 3DS games coming out. Okay, and they're getting treated almost as like a big AAA game from Nintendo. They're getting that same marketing and that same push. Okay, 3DS is like slowing down because they got all those good games. They supplied enough people with content on the go. Now we have 5 big Switch games that you guys are want to play. One for every month. Oh, I got some more content for a Switch, and after getting done, having time to finish those 3DS games, let me pick up that Switch game. And as long as more Switches come out themselves, for people to even buy more Switch games, the balance is going to be still there because 3DS would be able to handle that gap for them.
Yeah, plus you like look at all the good games we've gotten on 3DS this year already, like Ever Oasis. Hey Pikmin just came out, which is reviewing mediocre, but like it still looks like a good kind of action platformer type game for kids, like because like that's the primary audience of the 3DS right now, right? Is kids, like
right.
Parents don't want to give them their expensive cell phones. I mean, now that the 2DS is $150 for a cool looking system, we're getting 2 Pokemon games this year. We're getting a Metroid game on there. So like this year alone with 3DS, like the library kind of, it's not as good as Switch's, but it kind of rivals the Switch's library in terms of what content's kind of being provided. And we've getting a couple Kirby games this year on there. We're getting, we got the 3rd Box Boy game this year. So it's, the 3DS is still a power for Nintendo, and they're going to ride that train. I mean, you look at the systems now, right? Like, I bet the 2DS now, like the 2DS XL that is out today, if you're listening to this on Friday, that's probably so cheap for them to manufacture by now, just in terms of like what types of screens they use. They took out the 3D technology. The technology inside that device is probably 15 years old at this point, 20 years old, like just based off like not HD, kind of still looks like N64 GameCube style graphics at some point. Like, that thing's cheap and it's going to make them money, and that's going to fund better projects for the future.
Right.
So,
and it's good. It's a good video game. Like 2DS is, I believe, is a good video game system, and you could still keep those games on the go. We was talking about, we had a discussion about mobile games and 3D games, handheld games, and how some people believe that mobile was going to overtake handheld. But if you got stuff like the Pokemon Go fiasco happening, why not just play the real Pokemon on Nintendo's handheld and get a better experience?
Right.
Once they announce the next Animal Crossing, if it is on 2DS or 3DS, it's still going to sell because Animal Crossing is a big game. If it returns to Switch, uh, hopefully that gains more sales from it. When we'll see it, we don't know. I think we'll probably see it at E3. And maybe we might get an Animal Crossing for the DS systems and for Switch.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah. So I mean, it's and maybe at some point, some of these games will talk to each other too. Like maybe Metroid: Samus Returns. Like if you play it, it might connect to your Switch and give you something cool.
And we even got the Fire Emblem one that's coming out for Switch and 3DS. Like they coincided with together with their release, so that could also happen too.
Yeah, that's another good point. Like if your friend has a Switch and your other friend has a 3DS and they're playing together, like those could talk to each other. Like we've seen it multiple times with Wii U and 3DS. Smash Brothers, you could use your 3DS as a controller so it can talk to that system. And Monster Hunter, you could play multiplayer. So yeah. We have one more question coming from our good friend Antonio Guillen. Check out Switch Talk on YouTube. Shout out to his show. They just did an episode on Splatoon, which is really good. If you're in our Facebook groups, he posted the video in there, so check it out. Antonio asks, will we see a Nintendo Switch price drop or $300 game included bundle this holiday now that we know it's still selling like hotcakes? Bundles more likely, especially in the first year. I think we'll see a Mario Kart bundle. That's the safe bet, right? Mario Kart.
Right.
A Mario Kart bundle with Switch. I don't really know what else they would bundle with it at this point. I just think Mario Kart's the mass appeal game. Already comes with 2 controllers. That's the best multiplayer game out right now. Like, I mean,
they could bundle it a 1-2 Switch. Switch.
Yeah.
Like bundle. Yeah. I mean, you got to think about it. As many people want to laugh that 1-2 Switch is not really was more of a tech demo. It did sell 1 million copies. It did do well. So why not kind of sell that more of that game? Because I don't think they're probably producing anymore or anything. But why not have that kind of bundle included in the Switch?
Yeah. I could also see them doing ARMS at some point, probably, or Splatoon 2. I think Splatoon 2 is still too popular for them to be like, okay, we've sold the units, we're just going to bundle it now. Maybe that'll be the bundle maybe next year or something. They'll have a Splatoon bundle. But yeah, I think Mario Kart's the safe answer. I don't know if Switch will ever drop in price. Maybe 2 or 3 years from now it'll drop to $250 or something, but I think in order to quote make the console cheaper, they're just going to do bundles. I mean, we've seen that with Nintendo forever. So
yeah, I think if we do see a bundle, it'll be a Black Friday bundle. But if they do a bundle, expect for the price to go up if they start to do that, because that's a $50 bundle that they include for it. Now, if they do decide to do a $350 without a bundle, without a game, but with a Pro controller, that's a good deal also.
Yeah, I can see that too.
Or maybe a digital copy of an indie game or something.
Or Snipper Clips would be a great game to bundle in.
Yes.
Yeah, Snipper Clips. I totally forgot about Snipper Clips. Yeah, that game. Man, that game's so much fun. We need to play that some more. But yeah, yes. I could see Snipper Clips easily being bundled in.
And that would be, if they do a $300 bundle with Snipper Clips, that would be a good deal.
Yeah, because you have to. The thing about Snipper Clips is that the only part I don't enjoy about Snipper Clips is you have to use the Joy-Cons. You have to use those controllers. But other than that, man, Snipper Clips is secretly the best puzzle game right now on Switch. It's probably secretly probably in the top 5 games on Switch, to be honest. Snipperclips is so good. Oh, it's so good. Right when I got my Switch, my wife and I played it for probably like 3 hours one night, and it was just the best. So, yeah,
Yeah.
that's our thing on Switch. So, why don't we move into this Walmart SNES Classic pre-order fiasco? Like, Walmart. So, for those of you who don't know, Friday I think it was, Walmart posted this Super Nintendo Classic pre-order page on their website, and it was up for a good 40 minutes, and it crashed their website, and it came out earlier this week that Walmart is now canceling all Super Nintendo Classic pre-orders due to the listing being made available in error. This comes from an official spokesperson at Walmart saying that the page was put up in error and that they will be posting something as soon as whatever they get from Nintendo. So we also have a question related to this. Our friend Scott L. I'm not even going to pretend to say your last name. I'm sorry. So Scott L. asks, how does a company as big as Walmart make such a huge mistake? Do you think Nintendo interfered with this at all?
Let me answer this one. Let me go first.
You go first.
Walmart, whatever they did, jumped the gun for this. Don't forget, we talked about this, that the FCC has not approved for Nintendo to do any pre-orders. Nintendo did not interfere with this. Trust me. If Nintendo was going to do pre-orders, GameStop would have had them, Target would have had them, Toys R Us would have had them, probably Sam's Club would have had them. And they all would have released a pre-order date for that. But Nintendo doesn't normally do that for any consoles. Besides maybe GameStop, unless they announce that they're doing pre-orders from the Nintendo Direct. So there's no way for Nintendo to interfere or even allow Walmart to do any pre-ordering. I think what happened is Walmart probably made a page in case of Nintendo said that, okay, now everybody, if you want to pre-order, you guys could go to these stores and make your pre-order. Here's the date. Mm-hmm. And for some unknown reason, whether someone hit a button or the computer was automatic or anything, Walmart made that decision through their through their server to release this on their page. Nintendo doesn't know how to make Walmart know how to place a thing with Walmart to get something like that up.
Yeah.
Walmart made that decision. So it was bad this is all on Walmart, not Nintendo.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm with you there. Like, I understand a lot of people like to blame Nintendo for a lot of things because Nintendo likes to control the message, they like to control a lot of more things than, say, Sony and Microsoft do within their platforms, or at least they make it a more visible part of their platform. Like, hey, we want to control the message. This is when this is coming out. We want to promote things the way we want to and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, this is totally a Walmart thing. The system hasn't even been approved by the FCC. Like, as soon as that happens, I'm sure Nintendo will go ahead and give the okay for people to pre-order stuff if they are taking pre-orders at all. So, yeah, I mean, it's hard because I went on there and tried to pre-order it, and I was able to get on the page and add it to my cart, but I didn't pre-order it. I knew something like this was going to happen, so I just didn't. Plus, you and I are going to go out and try to hunt for one when you're up here, so
right,
that'll be fun. But
I can tell you this: if Nintendo was going to do any kind of pre-orders, Toys R Us would have had that exclusive first than anybody else, because Nintendo, I think, probably makes more at Toys R Us than any other store.
Yeah,
Target is the second that I would think of, but people would think about it. If this didn't get canceled 12:01 or 12:30 in the morning, people are going to be at midnight, I should say. People are going to be at those Walmarts trying to pick up those pre-orders don't you know how much traffic and how much craziness that's going to cause? That's going to cause a lot of people for who's working overnight. And just think of people orders or systems trying to get stolen out their hands. Think of how many fights there might be. Like, it would be catastrophe. It'd be straight chaos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. So, yeah, Super Nintendo is going to be a hot item, dude.
Yes.
I'm like on that edge of like being worried that I'm not going to be able to get one. like just that, like this much a little worried, but it's okay. Anyways,
Well, you got a Nintendo Classic.
I do. You are correct. And it is plugged in on that TV behind me, and it is still super fun. So,
yay.
The last bit of news this week, The Lost Sphere from Square Enix, the follow-up to I Am Setsuna, is getting a physical release for Switch in all territories and launches on all platforms on January 23rd of 2018. So,
yes,
for you physical guys out there and girls, it's getting a physical release.
Yeah, it's a day one purchase for me. I'm going to be looking for that physical copy, and I know a lot of people probably won't pick it up, but I have to have it on my Switch.
Yeah, let's get physical.
And I'll probably still buy it on PS4, but I think I'll get the digital version on a sale.
Yeah,
but like Switch, yeah, I'm gonna need that. I'm gonna need to give them $40 because I want more Square Enix role playing games physical on Switch.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it physical too. I'm still like working on seeing if I can get a I Am Setsuna physical copy from just by importing it, but I'm trying to wait to see if it goes down in price a little bit. But I know like it'll go down in price one day and it'll skyrocket at some point. So I'm like, yeah. Anyways, all right, let's move on to topic of the show.
Yes,
topic of the show. Topic of the show. Sorry, that was my theme song. Our topic of the show comes in the form of a question from a friend of NGR, Jesse White. You can check out him on the Brew Review, and I think he was on next week's episode of NGR Radio with Jason and Moose and Matt. Don't quote me on that because I'm not 100% sure. I still need to edit the episode. I was not on it. But yeah, this is the question, and it's a very simple question, but it has a lot of discussion behind it. So
yes,
here we go. Do you think the Switch will surpass the Xbox One in sales or the PS4? My answer is no. But I think it'll pass Xbox One. I do not think that it'll pass PS4. For the simple fact that I think that, I think it might hit 3DS numbers. I think just in terms of what it's selling, I think it can hit that 70 or 80 million unit mark. But it doesn't have that extra reach the way that the Wii did with, Wii Sports, Wii Play. It doesn't have that DS software yet, like Brain Age or, a lot of those brain training games that came out real early on. Nintendogs. It doesn't have those games yet. And I don't know. We'll probably see those types of games eventually. I would love to see Wii Sports 2 on Switch. I would love that because the Joy-Cons have motion control in them, and it works perfectly fine without a sensor bar. I think a Wii Sports type game on Switch would be awesome. We do have a little bit of that. We have the Jackbox Party Pack games on there. There's a couple puzzle games like Tetris and stuff, but nothing that really grabs that, what I guess you would call like that extra audience. It's going to suck in the hardcore Nintendo fans. It seems to be sucking in the, I need a second console. What do I get? Do I get an Xbox One or do I get a Switch? And a lot of people are leaning towards Switch because Xbox One and PS4 are so similar. And the games that are popular right now are played multi-platform. So, it's pulling in that crowd. and there's people that want Nintendo handhelds, so they're pulling in that crowd. People that are older are kind of tired of their 3DSs and are looking for something a little bit more, high tech and sleeker, and something that they're not embarrassed to pull out on the train, I guess.
Yeah.
But those are the people that are buying the Switch right now, and I could totally see this thing reaching 70 million units, in 4 or 5 years. It's got the library already. It's obviously already got the library already. Something people like to complain about with Nintendo for some reason, that it doesn't have a library of games. But I think that the PlayStation 4 right now is kind of too dominant in terms of sales, in terms of where they're going, in terms of what they are pushing that console for. I do realize that the Switch did outsell the PS4 the last couple months, but I think it's still the fact that like the Switch is new, the Switch is super popular. It's the console everybody's talking about right now, and everybody wants one, and which is good. That's good. I hope it keeps going. And I think PS4 outsold Switch in June only because Nintendo couldn't manufacture enough units to meet demand.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's another thing it's got going for it. But, Switch is in that price point once they do bundles. Like $299 is a really good price point for this device, especially if they start bundling it with Mario Kart and Splatoon and Snipper Clips and stuff like that. You're going to get a better value out of the $300 package eventually. It's, I mean, to be honest, like, I don't know how well the Switch is going to sell, but I think it's going to sell really well. I just think the PS4 is too far ahead in this. Like, it's the PS4 came out 4 years ago now, right? And like, that's the advantage the PS4 has, is that it's out in front already. Right. And by the time the Switch catches up to it, I think that PlayStation is going to move on to another box. I think the PS5 will be out. So, I mean, it's hard to tell, honestly. I think they're going to be about even.
I think the Switch, it will beat the PS4 and Xbox One, and I'm going to tell you why. Because,
why, Ed?
Because Switch is still in demand. Switch will still be in demand after the holiday season. Switch will still be in demand when it comes to summer. PS4, I mean, yeah, it's so well, but PS4, only reason why it's so well is because it got a pass due to Microsoft's mistake of Xbox One. I think this generation, if Xbox One and PS4, if Xbox One didn't have that craziness, Xbox One and PS4 would be at the same numbers, and I think they both probably would have been at 25 to 30 million units, so between each other. Switch though will, I think, because of its, with its portability, with its with people coming in and consistently ask for it, people are continually looking at Nintendo's case. So when they see it, they're buying it. When they find out that it's coming in, be like, "Oh, you guys got a Switch. Let me get it." And it's going to continue to be like that for a good while. If PS4 was so dominant as being as number one, people will start paying attention to it when they can. Mm-hmm. Like at retail stores, when it comes to kids and parents going in to buy a video game, barely anyone is looking at PS4 or Xbox One. Mm-hmm. People are looking for it. Did you guys got Switches? Yeah, we got a Switch. Oh, let me get it. You guys got a Switch? No, we're out. Well, when are you guys getting it for your next shipment? They're asking for that. They're not doing that with PS4 and Xbox One. Even if those two systems had enough to supply the demand, they still wouldn't outsell. They still wouldn't have a high demand as Nintendo is having with Switch. I think Switch is going to actually outsell PlayStation 4. the demand is too high, and I think that demand is going to be there for a long time. People are paying more attention and coming to the stores than they're doing Xbox One and PS4.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting though, right? Like we were talking a little bit before the show. I think
Mhm.
I think that a lot of people like like we said, we're in the minority where Nintendo is kind of our primary console and we use PS4 and Xbox One as kind of like secondary consoles, right? Where a lot of people use the PS4 and Xbox One as their primary console and are looking for that second console experience to differentiate what they're playing on PS4 and Xbox One. So what I said was like a lot of people are buying Switches as their secondary console or their handheld that they can take with them, and
Right.
which I think will in turn boast well for Nintendo because they're not trying to be the primary console. They're trying to get you in the door for that second console, and which will in turn boost sales for them and probably put them on top because PlayStation 4 and Xbox One are too similar.
I think Switch is going to offer a better library of games than PS4 and Xbox One.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I mean, what games really stand out on those two systems? Overwatch, Destiny, Grand Theft Auto 5, because that's still selling. Uh, and not counting like Bloodborne or Gears of War or anything like that. But those three games that people are really interested. And Overwatch is probably number one because that's the one that most people are talking about and playing between those two consoles.
Mhm.
When it comes to Switch, look at the numbers that we talked about earlier in the news. Breath of the Wild is still selling. Um, People are still buying Puyo Puyo Tetris. That's still doing good. Mario Kart 3, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is still doing good. Shoot, heck, Street Fighter even so. ARMS, which is a new IP, sold 1,000,000.18. Like that's still doing good. And you also got to include in the market that we're not just talking about America, we're actually talking about Europe and Japan.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Which is
and
somewhere where I mean Xbox struggles outside of the US and then PlayStation still struggles in Japan because Japan likes that handheld, train call. They have the train culture there where like they're either playing games on their
right.
cell phone or like why do you think PSP still sells well over there? Like and not the Vita, the PSP still sells well over there because they like their handheld gaming and that's where I
They're
think
doing
Nintendo hits it. They're like we hit that
right.
train culture. They can plug it in at home if they want, but they can take it on the train with them.
Right. They're doing raffle tickets for a Switch in Japan. Who does a raffle ticket to get a system?
Yeah.
Like, like last week, they posted pictures of long lines of people in Japan trying to get Switches. If PlayStation 4 was so dominant, where are those pictures for those long lines? Still,
Mm-hmm.
it sold when it came out, but they'd be like, well, PlayStation now is at 60 million. Okay, that's good for those along lines. And I think most of those who are buying them for birthdays or if they just got extra money and they've been saving to get a PlayStation.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I
You
still,
know, there's. Oh, go ahead, Corey.
oh, I was just gonna say, I still think like the Switch, even though it's not as powerful, provides the advantage because it's so versatile, and that's what people like in terms of like, that's what PlayStation wanted the Vita to be was like, okay, you can take your games like that's what cross buy was eventually, right? Was like you can play your games on the Vita and on your PS4, but there's this really complicated way of doing it, and a lot of people, I mean, this is the generation of people that prefer convenience over quality a lot of the time. You look at Netflix and Amazon Prime Video and Hulu, like People don't want to go out and buy 4K Blu-rays. They want the convenience of flipping through stuff on Netflix. They want the convenience of purchasing stuff through the iTunes store. They want, this is the generation we're in, and they don't want the PlayStation 4 Vita setup. Nintendo has found this perfect little way to say, hey, here's a little dock that plugs into your TV, but you can take your games on the go with you, and that's super smart. They are playing into the convenience factor, which I think will also help them because, I mean, it's convenient.
and for some people, you can't get true. I hate using true gaming. I feel like you can't get true gaming one now without having them marketing 4K to you. They're making you feel like you're not really getting the best experience because you don't have this technology. Nintendo was not like that. Nintendo was just like, hey guys, we got this. We got the system that look this way and that you could play. What's more easier? Something that's easier to play and get into, or I'm forced to spend more money to get true gaming, and that true gaming might not be actual gaming that's going to bring enjoyment with this content.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I agree. Plus, you're not going to get Breath of the Wild on PlayStation either, which is like, already being heralded as one of the greatest games of all time. Like Breath of the Wild is easily one of the greatest games of all time. So, my opinion, of course. So, well, what do you say? What do you say we wrap this episode up?
Yes.
So, this has been another episode of Nintendo Pow Block. Remember to like, subscribe, and share our YouTube page, and rate us on iTunes or Google Play or Shout Engine or whatever podcast service you use. I'm trying to get it up on more places so we can be found more places. But join our Facebook group, Nintendo Pow Block, facebook.com/group/Nintendo Pow Block. And join our other NGR Radio Facebook groups. We've got a lot of groups going on. Download our family of podcasts: Nerds Gone Platinum, Arsenal X, NGR Radio, World 1-1, and I think the Brew Review is working on getting a audio version of their show, so that'll be interesting. And then I think we're gonna start talking about Vanguard FM soon, so stay tuned for that. But Ed, where can we find you on the internet?
You guys can find me on Twitter at @ThatRetroCode. You can hear my podcast, Optional Opinion, on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, and the Anomalous Radio Network.podbean.com right now. I think my friend is going to end up changing it. Don't know yet. You can hear the latest episode that I did with Chris Kiku Kubiak. We talk about martial arts, and we talk about films and stuff. So do tune into that episode. Very great discussion. You also could check me out on, like Corey said, World 1-1 podcast at Shout Engine. Let's Pod and Play, our latest podcast, where Corey and I and other guests play podcasts and play video games, and also podcasts about that game or talk about different topics. You can read my series The Moment at skirmishfrogs.com, and you also read Optional Opinion at IGN.com under anime, ENIME, and check me out on Twitch for my Let's Learn series. You can check that out at the Lyrical One on Twitch. Also, check out some of my writings at ngrradio.com.
Nice. Yes. You can find me at Corey Hudson in HD on Twitter. You can find me at Corey in HD on Instagram. You can find me all over the place on the NGR Radio network of shows. I think I'm going to be talking about Horizon a little bit on NGP next week. And check out all of our content on ngrradio.com and on our YouTube page. Got some cool stuff. Check out the latest episode of Let's Pod and Play Bayonetta 2. Ed and I had a good time discussing that. So And if you want to check out the first episode, it was Tokyo Mirage Sessions on Wii U. So you can
check out
as well.
episode 2 with Corey playing the Destiny 2 beta.
Right. I did post it's more of like an episode 1.5-ish. It was like a... So our schedule for that show is 1:30 p.m. Eastern time on Thursdays. But since the Destiny beta was going on, I thought I would, post that and break it out and stuff. So yeah, it's under Let's Pod and Play as well. So check that out.
Yes.
Also, if you're interested in Destiny 2 at all, I know community member Jesse Douglas reached out to me and asked me if we were going to be playing Destiny 2 together. So we will have to squad up and do that. So
yes.
Well, guys, thank you so much for watching and or listening. This has been Nintendo Pow Block. And until next week, we love you.
Yes, everybody. Woohoo!